Let's go back into our XAML. We want to select our window. We're going to do the icon property. That's going to pull up the resources for the project. Right now we don't have any, so we're going to have to add. We're already at some pictures here. I've got a lot of different things here. Let's go ahead and we're going to do a PNG. These are ones that I've downloaded from Iconspedia. It's a really great place to get free icons, pretty high quality stuff. Check licensing if you're actually planning on selling your applications and using their icons. Some of them they allow you to, some of them they don't. You just have to check into it. But it's really good to get icons to work with, and give you some kind of elements. We're just going to pick one here. It really does not matter. Let's do a little computer. That'll be fine. So we say OK. That's our icon. If we fire it up, we can see now we have that icon in the taskbar, and we have it at the top of our window. Purely aesthetic, there's no reason other than just getting rid of that blank page look to it. Just makes it look a little bit better there. Alright, I'm going to do one more advanced step here. This is something that if you're creating an application, at some point or another you're going to want to compile it into an executable and either put it in a setup package or whatever it is that you're going to do with it. The setup packages are something we'll get into in a later video. I wouldn't worry about it at all until you actually have a product that's finished that you want to deploy, that you want to be able to install on other computers other than your development machine. Once you get the basics of programming down, once you understand Visual Basic or C#, these setup projects only take a couple of minutes to understand how to get them going. There's a lot of advanced things that you can do with them, but just getting one so that you can deploy your projects is really, really simple. We're not going to get into that into this video, but we will get into the project properties, which are going to be for compiling your executable, your program. Really what we want to look at, there's two things we're going to look at. The first thing is going to be the icon. The icon that we set previously is going to be for that window, the main window. That's only going to be the icon that shows up under the taskbar and in the top left-hand corner of the window itself. This icon is going to be the icon for the executable. So whenever you have a desktop icon, your desktop shortcut, or the icon for the actual program itself, this is going to be the icon that shows up there. So we have to browse. We'll go again. Let's go to pictures. We'll go back into the stock. We're going to go into ICO files, ICO files, icons. We don't have the same one, so I'm just going to pick this little taxi one here just to show something. Typically, you'd probably want this to be the same icon as the one that you have on your main window. You'll notice that we had to select an ICO file, an icon file. You cannot use PNG or JPEG, whereas you could use those in your Windows application. Now, a little side note on that: if you use a .ico file for the icon on your window, which we're using a PNG file right now, typically it's going to be a lower resolution than like a JPEG or a PNG. PNG is my favorite, which just basically means that if they're using like a large taskbar, large icons, your icon's going to look kind of distorted as opposed to looking nice and clean. So that's the icon properties. And the last place you want to look into is the assembly information. That's going to be information that's embedded into the executable, just telling the user the title of the application, a brief description of it, the company who made it, which if you don't have a company name, if you're doing this on your own, it can be maybe your name. Typically the product will kind of be the same as the title. A copyright, if any. Something to note, if you're doing this in the United States, I believe the law is still the same, that if you create something you have creative copyright over it. So feel free to put your your name in there or whatever, because it's copyrighted to you. And your assembly and file versions. I usually do those as the same. Whenever I increment one, I'll increment the other, and it's really important later on for keeping track of the different versions. Whenever you make a change, you make an update, you want to make sure that you change these numbers. You want to increment these numbers. Now, this is going to be something you're going to have to do by yourself. Whenever you make a change, you have to go into project and then properties, assembly information, and update that number to the next one up. And it just really helps you and the user make sure that you're using the latest one, the latest build of it. And that's basically it. You click the build button, it'll create an executable for you, which let's go ahead and do that. Alright, we just saved the project is all we did because it needs a place to build it. If we do build, it just made an executable for us. If we browse to that location, which is going to be under Documents, Visual Studio 2010, Projects, and Hello World. Now if we look under our bin folder, Debug, this is the output of our program. Now these files here really don't mean much to the actual executable themselves. You could run this executable without these files, but you can see there's our executable. There's the icon that we selected under our properties. There's the icon that we set there. We did not change any of the information, so you'll notice that if we look at it, file description says hello world, company still Microsoft, file version. We didn't change any of those details, so that's where that comes into play. This is where that information is displayed to the user. And if we launch it, we get our program. We can type in a name here, and it it functions just like we expect. And that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'll try and get back to you on it. And happy coding.